Are you ready to think big and act bold? Then you are in the right place. This is Innovative Entrepreneurs, a podcast that will bring you the stories, insights, and tips from some of the most successful and innovative entrepreneurs in the world. I am your host, Erica Bailey, and I am here to help you start, scale, and sustain your own entrepreneurial journey. Let's get started. Today, we have a very special guest with us, very talented woman. I'm excited to have her on. She is a creative visionary, an industry trailblazer, transforming the interior design industry and empowering women in the workforce. Please join me in welcoming our guest, Blima Ehrentreu. I want to make sure I say that right, so you have to correct me. She is the founder and CEO of the Designers Group. The Designers Group is a leading interior design firm specializing in high-end spaces for commercial, residential, and healthcare portfolios. Recognized as one of the top fastest growing private companies in New York metro area by Inc. magazine, the Designers Group is at the forefront of cutting edge interior design. Her commitment to empowering women and giving back to the community has earned her prestigious accolades, including the Globest Women of Influence Award, both in 2020 and 2022, as well as Crain's Notable Leaders in Real Estate 2023. We are really thrilled to have you, Blima, on our show today. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. That was the intro.
Well, thank you. You're quite the person. I wanted to just thank you for coming on board. And I would love to learn more about you and your story, if you don't mind, before we get into all the great questions.
So I grew up in Toronto, in Canada. And when I was in high school, my parents moved us across the street from the home that I grew up in. And I was able to watch as our house was demolished and a new one built in the same spot. And seeing the entire process from start to finish was something so incredible. And that really made me want to explore design, architecture, construction as a career. And that's what happened. I originally started in residential design, but eventually we got super involved in commercial, which is what we're busy with right now. But that was really kind of what got me to this place, seeing how when you put something on a paper and you have a real plan and watching it take form and how fulfilling and empowering it is, that was really something so special to me and something that I really wanted to do as a job and as something that I love. Yeah. And that is kind of where I started. And, now I moved to New York, opened an office here.
You were 12 years old when you saw this happen. Is that what you said?
So it was when I was in high school, so closer to my teenage years.
Okay.
Yes.
I just love that you watched this transformation, and I just love that it impacted you at such a young age, and now it's really driven you to your life. You created your life by design, pretty much, from that early age. That just is amazing to me. I wanted to be when I was in high school. I had no idea. I wanted to be a lawyer or a doctor or a FBI agent, but it changed daily. So
all of the options.
All of the options. Keep it open. And I ended up in marketing.
Really creative industry as well. I love it. We believe that as designers, we are marketing a space. We want people to walk in and have a certain feeling and use the space in certain ways. So at the end of the day, it does all boil down to marketing as well.
That's beautiful. You're marketing the space. I think that's fantastic. That absolutely makes sense. Now, every time I walk into a furniture store or something, that's what I'm going to think of.
Like when you walk into an office, you want to have a certain vision of what that company is and what they're doing, both from a client standpoint as well as an employee standpoint, because you want the team to be empowered to work well and optimize their skills and talents, as well as when clients walk through the door, you want them to understand what service you're offering and who you are as a brand. So it can be in office, it can be in healthcare, it can be in schools, really marketing at the end of the day. So many spaces, like when people are walking into a multifamily, when they're making the decision to move there, you're marketing that space for them to be able to visualize themselves living there. Is this the way they want to live their life? And I think that in general, in our everyday, there's so much of a cross between marketing and design and designing by intention, like you mentioned. So definitely a lot of crossover there.
I would have never thought that until you said this, and it totally makes sense. So you were saying for workplaces, you actually design for the team and the client. So you're empowering the team. Like, is there a specific way you do that, or just it depends on the space?
So it definitely depends on the space, but for sure, that's always something that we're mindful of when we're working on an office, because at the end of the day, a company's best work is only because of the team that they have. So whether it's about making amenity spaces or giving people the feeling that they have a choice, whether it's between moving to different work areas in a space that optimizes their workflow, or giving them areas to relax in or quiet spaces. And there's so many different ways now that we're approaching the office space, especially from a live, work, play aspect as well, where people can work from home. And when we're designing homes, giving them that area and shared office space, and even as an amenity in a residential building as well. So there's so many ways to look at that. And what we always try to do, especially in an office, is really look at what the mission and vision of the company is and make sure that that's coming through in both the design and the way that people will be working in the space and what they're trying to do. So we definitely take a lot of time when we're in the conceptual design phase, which is the time when we're coming up with the design of a space. And we really look at how to optimize the space in the best way and make sure that the people who will be there will be happy. And just to take it a step further, even in healthcare, like we're looking at the patients who will be using the space, but we also want to make sure that the staff will be happy, because if you have a happy staff, they'll be able to give the best care to the residents, the patients, whoever it is that is coming for the medical help that they need.
Probably decreases turnover rate too, which also, has an impact on the service and the care that these aides provide, with nurses, doctors, aides. You say mission and vision at the company. You go in and that's what you look into first. It is just like marketing. I mean, that's what we start with. We start with taking a full picture of the mission and the vision and the goals, and then we build our strategy and campaign based off of that. And you use a lot of marketing, terms like optimize. And I've actually really mind blown here for a second, because I would have never thought that this is really what you are doing as a designer, whether it's corporate or residential or healthcare. So I'm like, this is really cool.
Yeah, and we definitely work with marketing firms, as well as we sometimes will work on that as well. When we're working on the design of a space, we want to incorporate any branding elements that company will have in any way. Like if it's a school, what is the motto of this school? What are the brand colors? Because we want to differentiate every space that we're working on to really reflect who is using it. And then I always find certain brands do such a good job with our marketing, and that continued marketing is an all-inclusive experience. So when we're working on the design, we want their print ads to reflect that if they do advertising. We want their product to reflect that if that's what they have. So we work very well with the marketing teams, and it's all about either selling an experience or giving that experience or a product. It's all works so
all encompassing. That is just awesome.
Yeah.
So now, we kind of heard your story about, as a teenager, you watched this house get, basically demolished and then rebuilt. So you watched the process from beginning to end. What inspired you to take that step rather than working for another firm?
I always wanted to be able to empower women and use whatever I do as a platform for good. And I was able to see that by starting my own firm, I would be able to accomplish both. And that's really what we do at the Designers Group. We have different initiatives where we're helping empower other designers, helping empower other women, as well as using our firm as a platform to be able to really help others. We have a furniture exchange program called the TNG Furniture Exchange, where we help people who have furniture to give away. We facilitate those donations to people who need it. And that comes from a sustainability standpoint, where we're helping repurpose, as well as it speaks to who we are. We always want everyone to live in a space that they love, and that everyone should have the opportunity to be in an environment that makes them feel good, that speaks to them. And we have just launched our 9th location, as well as a website, to help facilitate the donations even more. So we're really proud of that. That's something that we're really excited that we're able to have that kind of impact. And that's really who the Designers Group is, and the reason that I wanted to be able to take that step and start my own firm.
Oh, that is amazing. From my standpoint, what I'm hearing is that your business was basically built off of kindness, caring, empowering, and a word that came to mind is listening. It really sounds like you truly listen to your customers, or, because you're able to express their intentions. Maybe they can't speak it right exactly fluently as to what they're looking for, but it sounds to me like you are really capable of listening to get to those inner conversations. I would say that customers, clients aren't always able to articulate. We do it here in design. When we're creating logos or websites, a lot of the times it's like, I'll know it when I see it. You know what I mean? We get that all the time. I'll know what I want when I see it. And that's always a struggle. And so you really have to listen. You have to know what they want before they know what they want. And so that's what I'm hearing. So I'm seriously just impressed and enthralled and honored that you're here. So you're welcome. So we talked about kind of what inspired you to start the Designers Group. And, you're talking about the great, just kind work that you do. But how do you choose your team?
So we have an incredibly diverse team from all around the world, I would say. We have so many different cultures and religions and countries of origin. And I believe that that's the best way to really have a design that works for everyone in every type of space, because with the collected experiences that everyone has had, they're able to play that into the design. And I always say that when we collaborate and work together, 1 + 1 is not 2. It's an exponentially better result. So we have this incredibly collaborative team where everyone works together. And what we did spend a little bit of time on recently is figuring out a remote/hybrid way of working where we don't all have to be in the same physical location. I think that COVID helped us really put that at the forefront of our to-do list of making us able to work together without actually being together. And I definitely see anytime we work together as a team, which is always, but seeing the results is so much better. And I think that's one of the reasons that our designs are so unique and so customized to every end user, because we're really approaching it from a collaborative standpoint. And we really are lucky that we have such an amazing team where everyone is passionate about what we're doing. We want to give people very good experiences in the space that they're in, like I mentioned earlier. And we look at every project and we really approach it from that perspective. And we want to think innovatively and come up with the best solution for the space.
Awesome. I agree with you. If you have people from all walks of life, all cultures, all religions, you truly get to see the entire picture. And every person's input and thought has to create an elegant result that truly meets the needs of your consumer. You say passion. You believe all of your staff is very passionate. When you're trying to find people as part of your team, like, what does that passion look like to you? how do you see that passion spark? So, yes, they're meant to be on this team, this very unique, very amazing team.
We're a creative team. So it's always hard with the hiring process just because it's not like you could give someone a set of math questions and see how they respond, or give them a computer program, which we do use a lot of different programs. So they do need to have the skills in that way, but we're also very creative. So what we like to do when we're hiring is we give a trial run or a trial project. The potential employee gets paid for their time, but is on a trial amount of time or, project specific. And we see how they work. So both our existing team, people we already have, feel like they could work well with them, as well as the potential employee can see, is this a firm that I want to align myself with? Do they share my vision? And we really do want to be transparent with our work culture. We want people to buy into what we're doing and make sure they're on board with that, as well as we want our team to love everyone that they're working with. So this really gives both sides the option to see how it's working.
Yeah, it allows both of you to determine if there's synergy, right? Working with synergy between each of you.
When they're coming in, when they'll be like an office position, they come in for like 3 days, max 5 days. We don't stretch it out too long, just because there is a training process involved, and we don't want to train people in if they're not going to actually be part of the team. So it's more just like, a quick trial, just to see what their role is, if they're happy with it, if we're happy with what they can do. Pretty much
that makes sense. I think that synergy is so important, and I love that A, you pay them for the time, and B, you really do show that you care about this person, right? You don't want to put them in a position that they're going to be unhappy in. And a lot of employers, they don't care about that. They just need people to fill the seats, right? To do the jobs. So the fact that you really care about, their needs as well as yours, that would be a great place to work for. My master's degree is in organizational behavior. So my studies were based on wellness programs in the workplace. Like, how do you keep employees happy so that they can provide better quality service and a healthy environment. So I love what you're doing. I think that's fantastic. So how do you empower women in the workforce through your work? We kind of talked about this a little bit, but how do you think that as a designer, with everything that you're doing in the community, as well as, with your consumers, how do you think that empowers other women?
We do run a mentoring program through our firm where people have the opportunity to be a part of the TDG Insider, which is a 1 day that they can come in. We have curated a schedule where they get to try different parts of the design process and see if a career in interior design is for them. And with that, they have the option that any of the designers can be a mentor for them if they would like. And it's actually pretty interesting because we did have a guy come in, and my hiring manager thought he could be a good fit for our team. And he actually did come and worked with us for about a year until he got into Yale for a full scholarship for architecture. But so it happened to have helped us as well. We're able to see talent, and if we see someone who could be a good fit, we're happy to offer them a job as well. But really what it is when I was thinking about a career in interior design, like I said, this kind of play back into my high school experience where I watched the designer with the paint colors, and I thought, hey, that is so cool. I love watching it all unfold, but I didn't really understand what the career was about. And I believe that if I would have had that opportunity to be able to go to a design firm and see what it was all about, it would have clarified a lot of things for me earlier on. I'm so happy with this career, and I would not have done anything differently, but I just wanted to be there as a resource for other potential designers. And we're so happy to be able to do that. And it's really easy. People can just go to our website. It's a 1-page form to apply. But that's one way that we believe that we're giving back. And in general, the industry, we're in the real estate / construction industry. And as time is going by, there are more and more women involved, but there aren't enough. And I'm here to try to help others in any way that I can. And I really am there for it. So that's really just some of the ways.
I didn't think of this as really the construction architecture. Growing up, my best friend, she was able to move up in basically a residential housing company. And she was the only woman in the entire company, the only one. And so I was just shocked, one, that she could do the job well, but she's awesome. So that wasn't a question. But yeah, this was 15 years ago, and she was the only woman in that industry. And I don't think we see a whole lot more to this day. So I think that's fantastic. Women can do this. It's no longer a man's job, right? It's anybody's job.
Exactly. It's anyone who will do the best job for it, regardless of their gender.
Love it. So talk to me about this Globe Street Women of Influence Award. So what is this?
So this is an award that is highlighting diversity within real estate, and they highlight women who have made an impact. And I was honored in 2020, maybe 2020 and 2022, I believe. And they gave me the award. So I was very humbled.
How did that feel to be recognized as such an empowering person in your community?
I don't really believe it, but I'm happy that I'm having that kind of impact for others. I love what I do. I feel so lucky that I could do it. And if awards along the way come with that, I'm definitely happy to accept. But it's really about the work that we're doing, for sure.
And humble she is too. All right. Well, talk to me about technology, because I use technology in everything I do. And I'm going to assume, but I know that there's a lot of technology that goes into creating what you're building. So talk to me about technology that you use. And I'd also like to know if you think AI has any future part of the process.
So like I mentioned earlier, as designers, we're always looking for innovative solutions to any problem when it comes to interior. It's not even a problem, but just we want the space to work in its best way. And one of the ways to accomplish that is to be innovative, know the technology out there and how we can leverage it in the best possible way, both from an operational standpoint as well as when the space is getting built out as well. So we're definitely very on top of the trends. We follow what's out there. And speaking of AI, there was a conference about 2 months ago that I was asked to speak at, how we are incorporating AI into our design processes. And it was very interesting because what we did was we put together, and I had my team help me with this, put together a presentation of the different AI software that we're utilizing here. And what I did find interesting was that many of the other speakers were speaking about technology that either they're developing or that their company is building out for them. And what was interesting about the talk that I gave was looking at the different AI programs out there right now and how we can leverage them best from an interior design standpoint. And there's so much out there, definitely so much more that could be done, but it's really keeping up to date with what is going on, what's happening, both in the industry, but as well as even in other industries, and figuring out ways that we can use those same concepts and apply them to what we're doing. So definitely there's a lot out there, and there's so much more that we can utilize, but we definitely spend a lot of time making sure that we know what's out there and that we're utilizing it.
As a marketing firm, it's okay, how can we focus more on our consumers and less on minimal items that billable hours, but they're not really bringing in the money, right? So small video editing, right? If I want to take a clip from a larger video, rather than just having to do all of the work that my team does. I don't do it. I don't even want to guess, but they're able to use an AI tool that actually does it for them and saves them 2 hours, right? And so that's what I'm like, find anything. If there's any tool out there that you think will benefit you, or at least take, be able to delegate some of the things off of your plate so you can be more focused on our clients. Amen. Let's find them, man. I have no problem finding them and using them. I don't think they're going to be taking over for anybody. I think this just allows us to work more productively and provide better service. It's
interesting that you're saying that, because so many people keep saying, does that mean that we won't need people anymore? And as incredible as AI can be and as amazing its capacity is, I believe you still need that human touch. Mm-hmm. So it's about working with that and being able to manipulate that so that it can help us and work to our advantage.
Yes, absolutely. It's just a tool, right? Like, we all have different tools for our industry. It's just another tool that we can use. And yeah, it grows, but so do we. I truly believe that it's a value, and it's going to work with us and not against us or for us, which, hey, that's a benefit. You talked about sustainability. I'd love to learn more about this, like furniture exchange, or, what your sustainability plan is.
Sustainability is key for us as designers, because we're all about making the environments around us better. So how can we do that without caring about the environment that's really around us? So it's definitely a key focus for us. And we always try to incorporate new sustainable practices into anything that we're working on, both from a material perspective, working with materials that are more sustainable, both when they're getting produced, as well as when that they last longer, or even when we're ready to dispose of them, that we can do it in an eco-friendly way. But then there's also just looking for ways to repurpose different materials. And that's one of the ideas that brought the furniture exchange up. We had projects we were working on. I was moving apartments and there was just extra furniture. And it's like, hey, what do you do with this? Even scheduling a pickup for garbage collection to come is not so easy. So why not find a way to be able to repurpose it? And at this point, we've matched up thousands of pieces and really been able to help people really beautify their spaces. We've worked with people's homes. Whatever it is that we get, that's what we're able to give out. So it's really from that perspective. But we've been able to help nonprofits with different furniture that they need, and people who have been sick. And it's been really rewarding to be able to see that we can make a difference for people who otherwise did not think that they would be able to have beautiful.
Yeah. Wow. I think that's awesome. You scroll back about 2 minutes and you hear what she said. That quote is intense. It could be used for anything. I mean, truly, I get it from the design standpoint, but that's true. We got to care about, the environment around us, and that's not just in closed doors. All right. So we're talking commercial, residential, medical. Have you thought about breaking into the hospitality industry?
I actually did just go to HOTEC. That was probably 3 or 4 months ago. And what was interesting was that I went because we're doing so many senior living and healthcare spaces, and we want to bring in a hospitality vibe. Now, we have done a couple of fast food places, cafes, restaurants, but we have not designed a hotel yet. Not to say that we wouldn't.
Yes, that's
an opportunity. Exactly. Has not come up, but we do love to use those aspects of hospitality that people love so much. Why do people stay in hotels? It's about the experience.
Yes.
And we want to give that to our healthcare clients. We want to give that to our senior living clients. And for example, over COVID, we designed a string of urgent cares. And we approached it from a spa perspective. Why, when you get a facial or a massage, is it a luxurious experience? And when you need to go to the doctor to get stitches, it's this anxiety-ridden experience. So what we did was we brought in different aspects of a spa into the urgent cares. And what was so amazing about it was they had this grand opening, and I went to it, and I heard they brought in city officials, and I heard one of them say, I don't know, hey, this feels like a spa. And I walked over to him and I asked him, did someone pay you to say that? Because literally that was our concept here, where we want people to feel like the level of care is matching the environment around them, and they should appreciate the care because they're in such a nice space and they feel it. And that kind of brings me to another example that just was brought to mind, where my father had open heart surgery last summer, and we're from Toronto, so the operation was there. And the doctors are amazing, but it is a socialized medicine country. So they don't always have extra funds to put into the actual building. Mm-hmm. And he had one of the best doctors, but we're sitting in the waiting room waiting for him to go in. And it was dark and heated and felt depressing. And we didn't go into the surgery feeling, okay, this is great. We kind of were like getting nervous and getting worried. And then the operation happened, the surgery went well, but the recovery room, the blinds didn't open, the bed was creaking. You just didn't get that feeling that, wow, we're, this is going to be an amazing recovery. And thank God everything went really well, and he recovered really nicely, and the doctors were really happy. But I did give him a job while he was laying in bed recovering. I said, any nurse that walks in, you find out who owns this hospital so that a designers group can redo it. But there was so much about the environment that we're in and how it affects us. And that's really what we're about. We want to give people an amazing experience. And if it's hospitality that lends itself to that, then we want to take those aspects and bring it into the different spaces that we're working on. And that's also why we have such a diverse portfolio of projects, where we bring in different aspects of different industries into each other. And we have found it to be incredibly rewarding to see the results of doing that.
That's fantastic. All right. So what advice would you have for any aspiring entrepreneurs or business owners in the design industry?
What I have to say goes across the board to all industries. It would be believe in yourself. Take that step and just start somewhere and just keep going, because life is like an escalator. You're either going up or down. So if you're not consistently taking those steps forward, we all fall. We all have different trials and tribulations, different challenges. But what I love so much about design is the challenges make the design so much better. Because once you overcome either a budgetary challenge or a spatial challenge or whatever the challenge is, the result is that much better. So the challenges are what make us stronger. Therefore, we should not let them stop us, and we should just keep moving forward.
Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Yeah.
That's also describing, for sure.
I guarantee you my husband / creative director / better half would say the exact thing, that the challenges make the design, because he does all of our creative. And I think he'd agree with that perfectly. Whether we have a JOB or we are an entrepreneur, or it doesn't matter, if you believe in yourself and you're willing to understand that the challenges make you grow, right? And you just have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that's what life can bring you. So you can make the most of it, or you can go down the down escalator. It's your choice. Okay, so I asked this question to everybody, and I'd like to know who you think is the most influential entrepreneur, whether they've impacted your life or they've impacted, the world. But who would you say is that influential entrepreneur?
That's a really good question.
Trust me, you're not that. Like, lots of people have sat here going, "Oh, Erica, why'd you have to throw that at me?"
First person that comes to mind when I hear that word would be Elon Musk. I don't necessarily agree with everything he says and does, but I do see him as someone who is consistently thinking out of the box and going after what he believes is the right thing. And whatever the steps are and whatever he needs to do, he really, using technology, leveraging existing ideas that he's had and that he works on, he's continuously building and growing and trying to make the world a better place. For sure. From the electric cars, like looking at it in a way to save the planet, and what he believed Twitter was doing wrong, he went and changed that. So again, I'm not agreeing with everything that he does, but I do see him as someone who is consistently innovating and coming up with new ways to do things.
I can tell you that multiple people have given me that exact same answer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the wording is almost exactly the same. It's consistency. It's believing in himself. It's thinking outside the box. I think the consistency of just always taking that next step, always going that next level, like, and just believing in what he's doing without hesitation or, fear. So I agree with you. I think he is definitely one of the most innovative entrepreneurs of our time, without question. So why don't you give us a quick overview about where our followers can find you if they're interested in learning more?
We're on every social channel that I could think of. I'm sure there are some that we are not, but Instagram, LinkedIn, X, TikTok, really everywhere. Our website obviously is the best place to go to find us, thedesignersgroup.com.
And it looks like that's your handle for pretty much everything, is the Designers Group.
Yeah.
So you can find them at that. This has been like one of my favorite episodes that I've done. I am like thrilled that you joined me. I'm so grateful. And I wish you the best of everything. I hope that you achieve all of your dreams, because I truly believe that you are achieving the dreams of so many others. So by achieving your goals, you are making the lives of so many other people beautiful. And that impact is it's going to be there for a very, very long time. So congratulations on all the amazing work that you're doing. And again, I appreciate having you on, and I look forward to future conversations.
Thank you. Same here. It was so nice to meet you. And I really appreciated this talk and getting to know you better. And I look forward to staying in touch.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. What a great episode. I hope you had as much fun as I did. If you want more of this goodness, make sure you subscribe so that you get notifications for future podcasts. And if you found value from this, please share it with others. You can visit our website at cwgdigital.com. This is Erica Bailey. I am your host, and I will see you next time.